I think I would take about 20, 25 minutes to just talk you through some of the slides I've put together. Hopefully it'll be interesting. Hopefully it would generate conversation, and some of the things you already said kind of link into some of what we've talked about, or I'm going to be talking about. So here we go. So quick introduction to those who don't know me. I know there are a lot of people from different communities actually. There are some people from the WO community. Let me hear you say, woohoo, yeah, okay. Where's Okwe? You didn't say WO, yeah. Yeah, even when you wrote registered, you didn't even put WO, you put local community. And there's some people from Okpolo. Anybody here from Okpolo? Yeah, Okpolo. And then some people from Masaya. Maybe they're the Lagos one. And then they're just other people, right? People who got invited. So you're welcome. So let me just introduce myself for those of you who are meeting me for the first time. I'm an author, and like I said, on your table, there is a gift for, I've authored about 9, 10 books. I'm a consultant. I just finished some work right now, 4 sessions with Dangote Group, where I was doing leadership, leadership development as part of a 10-day program. I do the first 3 days on self-leadership, emotional intelligence, coaching for performance, and that kind of stuff. You're welcome, sir. So we're just getting started. Just find a seat. Somebody will give you some water, and then you have a gift bag in front of you. Thank you. And I'm just going to do a quick talk, and then maybe we'll circle back for those who haven't introduced themselves to get to introduce themselves, and then we'll make it less formal. I don't want it to be too formal, right? Okay, so I'm just introducing myself. So I'm a father of 4. I say father of 4, I have 3 kids, but my son is married, and so my daughter-in-law is my daughter-in-love. So I consider myself as a father of 4. I'm a grandfather. I have an 18-year-old grandson. I'm a coach and a mentor, and I'm an investor. So I've written about 46 angel checks in about 3 years. Painful. And I think as of today, I sit on 19 startup advisory boards around the world. So some in Nigeria, some in Germany, some in the UK, 1 in America now, and 1 in Ghana, 1 in Botswana. So it's a global thing. And then I run Josh Leadership. So your host today is Josh Leadership. And we thought, we've done it in Lagos a couple of times, let's bring it to Abuja, see what the response is, and thank you for coming out tonight. Okay, next slide. So I'm just going to talk through a lot of things. It will be high level, medium level. I'm just talking. Hopefully, all I want to do is inspire, right? I love talking, so I need to keep an eye on time. So Nigeria is not late, right? The world is resetting, right? We're not left behind. The world is resetting. I think every day you wake up, Uncle Trump has done something different. But the world is resetting. There's a major shift, right? When there's a major shift, it creates new winners. Geopolitical dynamics create new winners. And Nigeria is not late to the market. And the key thing is that what we're lucky is that AI is going to help amplify, and it's not just for the Western world. Right? AI is not an advantage for the Western world only. Now, media will make you think it is, but actually, it's not just for the Western world. And I'm just going to spend some time just talking about that. So, the key thing we need as startups in Nigeria, in Africa, is clarity. Why are you doing what you're doing? Not noise, not how much you've raised or how many customers you have, but clarity around what you're trying to do. And if you have clarity, you're determined to win. You will definitely win. Clarity is the key to success. Next slide, please. So, our motherland, right? Nigeria has its challenges. The grid went down yesterday, right? So, all of a sudden, where there should be light, there's no light. But I think that those realities are not a weakness. They're actually training ground. Because it helps us solve African problems, right? Grid doesn't, well, I was going to say grid doesn't go down around the Western world, but now with the way the world is changing, the other day in Germany, they lost power for 2 days in Berlin, right? Sabotage, yes, but the reality is that We can't say that it's only in Africa now that the grid goes down. The grid went down in London a couple of days ago, the grid went down in California, the grid went down in Texas. So all of a sudden, these things that are unique to Africa are no more unique. Yeah? This volatility builds resilience, right? Most of us founders in this room, we are rugged. We have tried. I can't remember how many people said, what do you say you are? What do you say? No, not architect. You said you're a dropout founder. Dropout proper. You know, because you have gone through it, you have got the scars, you know. Actually, scarcity sharpens your prioritization. You know, what do you say your name is? Hussein, right? Your mindset is thinking, how do we get primary care to people in rural areas, right? That's not a standard. That's not going to make you a unicorn, but that's going to have impact and change and transform lives. And I think we need to stop thinking Silicon Valley and start thinking impact, because that's what we can do. That's what we can do differently from every other person. So our complexity should force innovation, right? You're thinking about electric vehicles, thinking about the grid, so solar power, right? Sometimes you even think, why has Nigeria been so late to the solar industry when we have the sun? Like, Lagos is not hot, Abuja is hot. The sun is here, right? And now you can see everywhere you go, there's solar everywhere. My wife changed it. My wife runs a music business in Lagos, and we changed from generator to solar power. Our diesel bill went down, almost zero. In fact, we had to be warming the generator because the battery was just dying. Because solar power, charging the inverter, all of a sudden you don't need diesel anymore. I'm just saying that scarcity, complexity should force innovation. Next slide. You can't see the slide very well, but I will send the slides to you afterwards. And this is just talking about the future of work. Has anybody read the McKinsey report? So McKinsey just did a report in 2025 about the fact of the matter that 2026 will be the year where robots and human beings are working together in tandem. Or agents, or whatever. And that's what the first report is talking about. The fact that we need to move, we're moving away from a people-centric model, that everything we touch would have an element of AI in it. And the truth of the matter is that if you use Word today, anybody use Word? Or Google Docs? If you are using any of those tools, you are actually embedded in an AI strategy, because they are all laced with AI. Have you ever tried to go to your email and it says, do you want me to complete this for you? That's AI working. The moment you say yes, you and your AI are now collaborating. Because the next time you say yes, you'll remember what you did last time. And so what this document is saying is that the reality is that the world we're moving into is a more combined world. Like, AI is no more something that we, as an add-on, it's just embedded. And one of the biggest signs of that is what my former company, I used to work for Accenture, what they just did, they went and bought a whole AI company called Faculty, spent $1 billion. So think about it properly. A consulting organization, a company that makes money from people consulting, has gone out to buy an AI company. So if you want to read the writing on the wall, they're telling you that our strategy is moving away from a human doing the consultation. Or else, why would you go and buy a company called Faculty? Now, even if you just bought Faculty and added it to your portfolio, I for no vex. But you buy a company called Faculty and you make your CTO the former CEO of Faculty. So, a guy who was the CEO of a 400-man company overnight is now the CEO of an 800,000 man strong company. Accenture has 800,000 employees. And if you strategically say the guy that was the CEO of a small startup is now the CTO of 800,000 people, the strategies, absolutely, like the writing on the wall. It's not a prayer point, you don't have to pray about it. It's clear that AI is the direction of travel, right? So I just put this up there to kind of help you think about what's happening in the world and how does that impact our own ecosystem. Next slide. So there's a global reset, right? And AI is no more just a nice to have. AI is becoming an embedded infrastructure. I think Pisces Technologies talked about the fact that they've embedded AI in their solution. So it's now part of an embedded infrastructure. No more will an investor ask you, do you have AI embedded? It's assumed. Why would you not have AI embedded? It's like it's assumed because AI is now an infrastructure. It's a foundation. I think Billy Kiss told us just now how she was using Airtable and used the AI agents in there. It's like it's not even, it's like it's there. You're going to use it and it has nothing to do with which country you're based in. It's just available. So because of the global reset, there's more caution around dispensing capital, right? People don't want to invest because the world is moving too fast. And I'll talk more about investment in a second. And so therefore, in this global reset, trust, governance, execution cannot be overhyped, right? You need to be able to deliver what you say you're going to deliver. You need to show that you have governance in your organization. Doesn't matter how small your organization is. Start from the beginning to have governance in your model, and when you grow bigger, your governance shows through. Next slide. So, what are investors thinking? And I'm only speaking on behalf of angels right now. I can't speak on behalf of VCs, even though I used to work for a PE firm, so I kind of have the mindset of what a PE firm would say. The question a founder would ask you now, if they met you for the firm, an investor will ask you is, how fast can you learn? I don't care how fast you've built your product. Because in reality that whatever you built yesterday is already outdated. That's how fast the world is moving, right? So the question is, as a founder, how fast can you learn? That's the key question. When I'm sitting down with a founder, I'm not asking him, how fast have you learned, but how fast can you continue to learn? Because you're going to have to continue to learn. Your clientele are changing. Like anybody that build a business around certain people, those people start moving abroad, your business model changes. Right? And I can use my wife's company for example. Before COVID, we were going into people's houses teaching music. All of a sudden, these people don't live in the UK, they don't live in Nigeria anymore, they live in Canada. Luckily, we pivoted to an online business, and so now we teach students in Canada, in Kenya, in the US, in the UK, from Lagos, Nigeria. And now we're earning Forex. It's a completely different model. But that's the idea around how fast can you learn. Number two, how defensible is your insight? Right? Okay, you have this business, you believe you have the market, you know, that whole time, how defensible is it? Right? Because, I mean, I think I've read over 1,000 pitch decks in 4 years. And that page always just irritates me. But it's needed, because why? Do you know why it's needed?
Why? Silicon
Valley requested it. It is so irrelevant to African investors. It doesn't mean anything. Damn. But you can put it there, because that's what makes a pitch deck. Some people are already saying that they even want to get rid of. By 2027, they don't want to see pitch decks again. Because your pitch deck doesn't mean anything. It's 12 pages of what? Take me to your data room. Show me a data room that tells me that you know what you're talking about. So the question here is, how defensible is your insight? This business model you're going down, how can you defend it? Number three, and this is very important, I think, for founders, how disciplined is your leadership? Because leadership is not just about how you lead others, it's about how you lead yourself. When you wake up in the morning, what are you doing about your business model? What are you doing about your business? Are you learning about your own business on a day-by-day basis? Because if you're not leading yourself. Because the world is changing. I tell you the truth, the world is changing. What was good yesterday may be bad tomorrow, depending on which side of the fence you are. I give the example of Dangote. Dangote's fertilizer, before the Ukraine and Russian war, they were struggling to get into the market. Ukraine, the largest fertilizer producer in the world, is now in war. Dangote fertilizer saw a 4,000% increase in demand. So the question is, how disciplined were you in preparation for all of a sudden your product that was not useful anymore is now very useful. Masks in COVID. Somebody that was just making masks in their own house. All of a sudden, they became a mask maker because we needed masks. So ideas without execution no longer survive. And then if you can see my slide there, I talk about our favorite app called Lovable. Right? Anybody use Lovable? Yeah? So let me just tell you quickly how Lovable works. You can go into Lovable right now and say, I have an idea. I have an idea that I want to build an app that would help rural people get access to medicine. Build it. You press enter, it will build the app in seconds, milliseconds. Okay, yes, maybe it's not scalable, maybe you can't use it completely, but the truth of the matter is that it will build you an MVP in seconds. And so as an investor, I'm not sitting down with anybody and say, I have an idea. I don't care what idea you have. Show me an MVP. Because if you give me the idea, I can type it in now and build an app for you now. I can use your idea and build an app. I just log into my Lovable and build it for you. So investors want more because they know that ideas are cheap. Anybody can have an idea. You can build, I think we talked about so many different business models. Like I said, someone's already doing that in Lagos. Someone's already doing that in London. Because that's how, and because I'm exposed to so many startups, and I'm on so many boards, I know that people are doing it. Not only are they doing it, I've used the service. So that's why ideas need to evolve quickly, and your discipline as a leader is what's going to cause your idea to really have impact. Next slide. So AI, tool, threat, teammate, what is it? AI will not replace founders, fact, because AI cannot come up with new ideas, right? In fact, there is I should have put it up here, there's a book I just read called Supremacy, and it tells you the history of AI and why we even have AI in the first place. It tells you the story of Hasbani and tells the story of Sam Altman. And actually, AI was created in London. The first real concept of AI was designed in London. They just kept it secret for 4 years. And while all of us are waiting for ChatGPT, Google has been using AI since 2014. SEO is not SEO. SEO is just AI serving you up SEO. It's coming out now. But the point I'm trying to make is this. AI will not replace founders. Oh, yeah, this is the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that actually in America now, they fear that there is not enough data to feed the model anymore because humans have stopped creating. So now they're worried that there's no more original content that is coming in to feed the AI, because we get to a place where in which hallucinations might actually increase, because if AI is feeding AI, you're in a hallucinated loop. And so people are now worried that actually we're in a stage where which if we don't get humans thinking again and creating again, AI will run out of data to actually learn from. That's crazy, right? So you can Google it. It's a fact. That's one of the biggest worries that the AI governance people are worried about right now, that we might actually run out of new data for the model to train on. Right? So AI will not replace founders. But you know this statement, founders who use AI will be, founders that don't use AI will be replaced. Because whatever you're doing, somebody can use AI to double down on what you're doing. And so you should be using AI in whatever small form or the other. And here's the killer. If you don't use AI, I 100% guarantee you that every customer that's ever going to use your service does use AI. And so if your customers are using AI, why are you not thinking about AI? Right? So think about that. AI amplifies decision making. It makes you move faster, gives you speed, and gives you quality. My wife did an experiment the other day. I don't know why I'm talking a lot about her. But right, she did an experiment the other day. She said, I'm trying to take a new offering into some supermarkets, into some restaurants in Lagos. AI, tell me the best supermarket I should approach. And he came back with telephone number, Instagram page. That used to be a media consultant a junior person would do that. But now you don't need that. AI has done it. Yes, you have to put a human layer over it. Yes, you have to actually pick up the phone. But actually, there's another guy in Lagos who's building a tool that will give you a voice in Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba that can actually go and do the first call for you, get the email address, and book you a meeting. It's facts. So, tool or threat or teammate. Next slide. Look, I don't want to emphasize this point, but AI is changing the game. Faster experimentation, less operational cost if you use it properly. You know, better insights and forecasting, right? You don't need to wait for somebody. You can just say, here's my product. This is what I do. Tell me who my ideal customer is. What's my ideal customer profile? Go look at my website. I mean, I do it all the time. Startups come to me and say, sir, read my pitch deck. First thing I do, take your website, put it into an AI, and say, tell me something about this company that I don't know. I mean, boom. Then I say, okay, what can make this company better? Boom. Do it for yourself. Take your company name, take your company idea, put it into AI, ask it, what can this company do better? You'll be shocked. And if you use AI a lot, ask AI this question. And I did this in Lagos the other day. I said, ask AI this question. Based on what you know about me, what should be my goals for 2026? If you use that tool a lot, you'll be shocked.
I did it yesterday.
You did it yesterday.
Yes.
You will be shocked. It will break it down for you. So, you get better insights, you get easier forecasting, then you have access to global standards, right? So, my company is Trash Transform. Which companies out there in the world look like me? What are they doing different from me? He'll come back, he'll tell you. You don't have to do anything, just sit down, press enter. 5 seconds later, the answer is in front of you. And if you are good with AI, you can then further prompt it. So say, okay, don't just look at the world, specifically look at Africa. Don't just look at Africa, look at countries that have a GDP that is similar to Nigeria. Let the AI work, it will work. Right? It also helps you to build your team faster. You know? People ask me, would this person be a good CTO? So send me their LinkedIn profile. I did their LinkedIn profile, tweet it to ChatGPT or Gemini, ask them, would this guy make a good CTO? I haven't done any, I've not even looked at the profile. I just get the report back. Then I go and use my human eyes to look at the profile, but I already got some insights from someone that controls the whole internet. Me, I'm just going to read your profile, but I've now got this extra information about you that I can use as a layer, right? It doesn't replace humans, it just helps enhance what a human does. Next slide. So what does this all mean for founders in Nigeria? Distance is compressed, right? What do I mean by that? You don't have to wait for somebody to fly in from Lagos to get Lagos advice. You don't need somebody you don't have to fly to South Africa to get South African insight. On your chair, you can get that insight. I mean, this is a kind of reverse statement. So there should be no capital disadvantage. There still is, but really, with AI, there should be no capital disadvantage. It should be reduced, but there will still be, right? And I'll explain that in a second. The reality is that with AI, capability is democratized. You know, you can run an organization without a CTO because you can go into the app and say, here are the things I need to do, what do I need to do? Now, doesn't mean you can survive without a CTO, but you cannot be hamstrung without a CTO, right? And yeah, and hopefully, AI should help founders get to rev gen faster, revenue generation. You should be able to. Because you can take your idea and say, come up with some revenue generating models, right? You can put it, just tell it, give me a GTM, go to market strategy. Based on this population, this is my target. I mean, it's crazy what you can do with AI. So, next slide. But here's the thing, when we start looking at global capital, global capital is taking fewer bets. Like, recently we had a few companies exit from Nigeria. Last year, textiles and some other people, right? Because they want deeper due diligence. They have higher expectations. This is the era of depth. So if you have depth in your organization, in your depth in your idea, depth in your solution, you're going to be okay. So as an investor myself, I've been burned so many times. I've written checks to companies that I'm never going to get my money back. Right? It's a fact. And so the global economy means there are more ways for you to earn. What do I mean by that? I can take ₦1 million now and put it in a money point and get a 3%, 4% daily interest. But if I put my money into a startup, I might get my money back in 5 years' time, if I'm lucky. Next slide. What say me? What say I? So, and this number is actually now wrong. So this number, 2.1, has anybody heard of the concept dry powder? Dry powder? No, some people have. So dry powder is the amount of money sitting in private equity that they could actually invest in startups that they are refusing to invest in startups. Right? So the money is there. So right as of beginning of 2025, it was $2.18 trillion that was sitting in the pocket of private equity, so basically investors, that they don't want to invest in companies. That number has actually now changed as of 2026. I didn't have enough time to change my slide. That number is now $4.02 trillion. If you don't believe me, just Google it. How much dry powder is there in the world? Or not Google, maybe use Gemini or ChatGPT, it'll tell you. 4.2 trillion. That means there is $4.2 trillion available to invest in any company around the world. That money is actually earmarked for investment. They're just choosing not to write the checks. Because if you put 4.2 trillion in a bank right now, 5% return, calculated now. Guaranteed money. Not guess money. Not maybe you'll be a unicorn, but I can just park my 4 trillion in the bank and be collecting 4% daily interest. It's going to be in billions, if not billions. So that's the problem right now. There's money out there, but people are just like, well, if I get 5%, I think we did the maths earlier via the guys from Pisces, and if I put 1 million naira, let's take 1 million naira, 1 million naira, I put 1 million naira in my money point account, my savings account in money point, get 4% interest daily, that's 250 naira per day. If I get 250 naira per day for 300 days in a year, well, we calculate you actually make 91,000 on your 1 million. Imagine if you have 10 million. 91,000 becomes 910,000. If you have 100 million, that becomes 9 million. You're earning 9 million interest on your money. You don't have to do anything. It's just entry. As opposed to taking 100 million naira, investing in a startup, and they pivot. So, as I said already, as an investor, I'm still writing checks. I haven't written a check this year, but I'm just going to do deeper due diligence. I'm just going to really understand why. Why do I invest in you? Why? Why should I take my 1 million that right now, as I'm not doing anything, I wake up tomorrow morning, I get an alert from MoneyPoint. They have 250 naira interest. I get it every morning. I get the alert. I'm not telling you something. So forget about it. And then somebody said, what about bonds, treasury bonds? So there are many other ways where which that 4.2 trillion can be earning money. And so, as a founder, we need to be stronger, better, if we're going to actually get people writing checks for us. The global economy means more ways to earn money from your investment. So I need better ROI. I need to know when I put my money into your business, either I'm going to get money back or I'm going to get some level of impact. Right? So, that's that. I'm almost done. right? So I'm the one standing between you and small chops. All right, so next slide, please. How many slides do I have left? And? 9. I've got 9 slides left. No, I'm not going to finish this. Okay, let's just. I've already talked about a bit about clarity. It's not optional, it's foundational. Next slide. So I already mentioned this already. So you need clarity, your vision, what you're trying to do, whose role is what are the priorities. You need a clear governance structure. Start from the beginning. Don't wait until you're big. Don't wait until you raise money. Have clear structure. And number 3, culture outlasts code. Culture outlasts code. If you understand that, like no matter how much code you write, culture will outlast the code. Right? Why is Uber better than Bolt? Don't let me say anymore. Next. So, don't worry, this is something you can read when you get back. I just kind of dumped a lot of stuff around clarity for teams, making you move faster, clarity of leadership, clarity of organizations. You will get these slides. Promise. Next slide. Just so that we can, I'm not talking for too long. Unclear decision making, right? Why do startups fail, right? And we already heard stories already. Unclear decision rights, like who is making the decision around what we're going to do? Founder fatigue, that comes along the way. Growth without order collapses. Order, right? Where am I? Order comes through governance. So you need governance. Next slide. So what must change? What can you do from today? Build AI literacy, not theater. Right, you know what I mean? If you're using AI, just use it. You don't have to tell us a story. You have to say my app is powered by AI. When people think that by writing AI on it, investors will be happy. I'm assuming the AI is already in it. And if it's not in there, I'm not even talking to you. Right? So don't make drama. Oh, we are the first AI enabled. Who cares? We don't care anymore. Because we know that everybody should be doing AI anyway. So don't be clear on your messaging. So build AI literacy, not theater. Invest early in structure, right? Have the right structure. Measure what truly matters. You have 100,000 people that have looked at your website, so what? Why do I care? Are they going to convert? You already talked about already. 41,000 downloads. If somebody else will be dancing, we have 41,000 downloads, but it didn't result in revenue, so you have to change. So measure what truly matters. Revenue generation eats investment for breakfast every day. Right? We just saw Brex, right? Yeah. We saw Brex, what happened to Brex, right? So the investors that invested last, okay, they'll collect their money back, but no return on investment, really. So you think they will not think twice next time? Next slide. All right. I'll just do one question here. What will break if we double in size tomorrow? You know, the problem with founders, right? Well, the founder's dilemma is that because we are so used to things happening gently, you never prepare for crazy. Like, if all of a sudden 40 people want your product, and you have been averaging 2 per month, and all of a sudden 40, what will break? Because we don't prepare for that, when it does happen, we break. So ask yourself the question, what will happen if we double in size? Because we're not expecting it. So we don't live with that expectation. But imagine if it did happen, like you double in size today, what will happen? Do you have the supply chain to get your products to where they need to get to quickly? Next slide, because, okay, so, and probably this is good, we're getting close to the end. Beyond funding, right? Everybody wants money. Everybody wants money. And I tell people, I say, hey, the best money to take is a customer's money. Because the customer is expecting a return, like I pay you for a service, and then you give me the service. That's the best money to take. and I'm an investor. And I'm telling you, the best money to take in this world is your customer's money. Because it's an exchange for value. You give me the value, I give you the money. We don't have to see each other again forever. I enter Uber, takes me from point A, drops me at point B. As I drop, I pay the guy. He goes his way, I go my way. Investment is not like that. You take my $10,000. I'm hounding you. I'm checking on you. I'm evaluating your last pivot. I am asking you for updates. I'm vexing with you if you're not giving me. And that's only $10,000. Imagine if I invest $1 million. So let's begin to think beyond funding. Funding is good. We need funding, and funding. Like, the problem with us in Africa is that we use funding to start, when actually you should only use funding to scale. That's why there's a friend and family round. That's why there's pre-seed and seed. Because at this time, you're trying to find your way. But the moment you find your way, you're in Series A. And this is somebody that I've been in a company that we got to Series H. Amazon gave us $400 million at Series H. So I know what I'm talking about. Right? But if you take somebody else's money, so what is beyond money, taking money? Partnerships, collaboration. Even in this room, possibility, there's so many. My brain works like that. My brain can see, oh, this guy speaks to this guy leverages that guy. Before you know it, we did an event in Lagos last year, and the output of that is that one guy actually is buying somebody else's company that was in the room. They met in the room, they chatted in the room, and now he's buying that company. That's what I want to create. And don't worry, I don't get any commission. I'm just creating a space. If when I do deal $1 billion, fine. I'm happy. You don't have to pay me anything. But do it. Collaborate. Find ways to work together. That's my first point there. Collaborate. Build institutions, not just startups. Build something that will last. I'm reading the book at the moment by Samuel Otedola, depending on what your point of view is, but he built something that lasted. Whether we like it or not, whether he had, it doesn't matter. It's something that's lasted. Finally, think legacy, not just exit. If Silicon Valley taught us to think exit. I lived in Germany for 5 years, and I realized that, why the German economy sometimes is much stronger than our other economies. And actually, nobody really knows how big the German economy is, because they don't really report it. It's because most of the businesses in Germany are family businesses. Porsche is still owned by 80% by family. BMW, 20% by family. Volkswagen, 10% by family. These multi-billion organizations, it's still family, because family means a lot. Google it. How many businesses in Germany are from family legacies? I think last time I looked at it, one of the oldest businesses in Germany that still exists today was founded in 1818, and it's still run by that family. You don't know the family, but I wish I could speak Yoruba for a second. But their family, their children are still enjoying that money. From 1818, they're still enjoying the money today. Why don't we build like that? Why don't you just build for flash dash gone? By the time you buy one house in Dubai, you buy one house, money is finished. Legacy. Anyway, next. Call to courage. Nigeria does not need more normal startups. It needs builders of institutions, builders of jobs, builders of capability, builders of trust. Next slide. So your role as a founder, shape the economy you're operating in. Lead with discipline. Culture will follow you. Build for legacy, not just relevance. Revenue beats funding every single time. Founders are not passengers in history. They should be the architects. In this room alone, you have the ability to architect a new Nigeria, a new Abuja, a new rural experience, a new experience with trash, a new experience with the rental economy, a new experience with academic economy, edtechs, fish farming. Like, it's in your hands. So my closing charge, next slide. I think I finished my slides. Build with clarity. Lead with courage. Create what outlives you. Right? Don't just build for your unicorn status. Build something that maybe, just maybe, your kids might benefit. My father-in-law built an industry which doesn't exist anymore. Ragoli's water. It's gone. It's my father-in-law's product. It's gone. Because we didn't. And I say we, the royal we didn't build for legacy. We built for now. It was a great product then, but maybe in this room have never tasted Ragoli's water. And at one time it was a national airline carrier. You get on a plane, Ragoli's water is what you see. It became, in fact, in Lagos, people still talk about it as a euphemism for bottled water. Go and get me 2 Ragolis. Right? Lasted a little bit, not long enough. So, where my passion comes from, to build to last. Right? And I think that's it. Next slide. Thank you for listening. Any questions? Okay, so I don't want to